I want to call to order the June 4th, 2015 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. At this time, I would like for everyone to please stand for the prayer given by our CEO, Mr. Ken Dawson, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, as we come, we give you thanks and praise for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. There are times when we forget how good you've been, but we take a moment to reflect on that tonight. We thank you, dear God, for the responsibility that you've given us as leaders of Ascension Parish, because to whom much is given, much is required. And we pray for your wisdom as we do the people's business. Father, we pray that you look upon the Joseph family at the passing of Sidney Joseph Sr. and Miss Jessie Joseph. We know that you're the one who can comfort them in this time of sorrow. As we move forward with this meeting, we pray for your grace. We pray for your strength and wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken. Madam Secretary, please note that all present except Councilman Turner and Councilman Todd Lambert, who is not here tonight because he and his wife are working toward a celebration of the wedding tomorrow night for his son Tyler, to Miss Stephanie Wilkins, and a big round from the council and everybody to Todd and his wife. It's always a very, very great occasion. We'll move right in to Chair's addition. There's none. Public comment period. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with the Secretary and you'll be given time when that agenda item comes up. The presentations, we have some great presentations tonight. I'd like to call the Parish President up. First presentation is recognition of ACHS Lady Bulldog Track Team, State Champions.
Well, every year about this time,
man, I'm telling
you, they come here and they seem to repeat in track and win state championships, and I guess they got a real good coach. So I'm gonna call Rocky up. And,
we need to send them to our local colleges.
One thing about it, you know, the coach is consistent. The kids change, so evidently what he's teaching and showing them what to do, like I said, it's got to be working. So, Coach, again, I want to congratulate you and all the girls for what they've accomplished this year. It's not often, again, that we see state champions in Ascension Parish. I'm sure ACHS has had more than any other school, so something to be proud of. So, anyway, if you want to say a few words, I'll let you say it first, and then we'll.
Come on, Ryan.
Yeah, we appreciate it again. I know we've been before y'all a few times now. Our program has won 6 state championships in the last 4 years, 6 state runner-ups, so we're batting 500. So hopefully we bring home a few more in the future. We represent the city of Donaldsonville, we represent our school, we represent the parish of Ascension, and we're really proud when we go to other parts of the state. And schools know who we are, whether it's in Monroe, Shreveport, Lake Charles. The girls and the boys have worked really hard to bring our program to where it is. And we're proud of what we've done. I'm proud of the kids. We've got a really young squad. We had 21 girls on our team this year, but only 2 seniors. So we've got a really strong team coming back, both in cross country and track. Our boys team's looking good too. So we hope to keep it going. And like I said, we're proud to compete not only for the school but also for our parish. And it's Ascension Catholic, so Ascension Parish is well represented. So thank you all for the recognition. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
And I apologize in advance. We have a few girls who are on vacation. We have 21 on our team, but I think only 11 were able to show up. They wish they could come, but you know, this time of year, a lot of girls are going to be going. So
I don't blame them. I'm going to go ahead and read one, and then we'll just call out the name. And this one happens to be for Miss Bailey LeBlanc, and she's Ascension Catholic High School
Girls Track Team 2015 Louisiana 1A State Champions Track and Field. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of achievement to Bailey LeBlanc and the 2015 Ascension Catholic High School Girls Track Team. The Lady Bulldogs Track Team was Class 1A State Champions under head coach Rocky Cabela. We join Council Chairman Randy Cluart and the entire Parish Council in congratulating these fine young ladies for their extraordinary efforts. So we appreciate it. And is Bailey here?
Bailey's
Okay. Have another famous Bailey from Donaldsonville here recently. If you follow the girls softball, Bailey Landry, so from here.
competed for Ascension Catholic for a little while.
Yes. Miss Brandy Landry. Okay.
I'm gonna hand them to you, the ones that are here.
What?
I'm gonna hand the ones that are here.
Yeah. Okay. Brianna Bernard. Okay, go ahead. I just can't read their name anyway. They're not here, so they'll get recognized.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please.
Carson Hipsman. Catherine Urey.
We got a winner.
Deja Harvey. Take a group photo. Danielle Brew. Emily Dupree. Gabby Clack. Haley Dupree. Michelle Davis. Myers Joseph. Mary Anna Cuervo. Meredith Daigle. Nadia Williams. Paige Joseph. Stephanie Pearl. Stephanie Tragle. Nico Charles. You need to play basketball. Victoria Urey. Whitney Uri. Must be feeding those children well. They run fast. Okay, now, that's the team, and, we'll go ahead and get them up, and let's take a picture with the team at this point. And we'll do the individual honors out. You got other coaches here? Appreciate y'all coming out. Oh, one more. Maybe two.
Yes.
You kidding that young lady? That's your daughter. Yeah, well, that's all. 800. Maris Joseph. And this is Ascension Catholic High School Girls Track Team 2015 Louisiana Class 1A State Champion in the 800-meter run. Congratulations. Great achievement. Congratulations.
She also broke the state record. Got 4 of them for the 4
4 by
by,
100.
it's actually 4 by 400.
4 by 400. All right, I'm going to read one. We have 4 girls that won the state championship in the 4 by 400
Correct.
meter relay, and we'll reprint these for you. Certificate of Achievement, Victoria Ure, Ascension Catholic High School Girls Track Team, 2015 Louisiana Class 1A State Champions in the 4 by 400 meter relay. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present the Certificate of Achievement to Victoria of the 2015 Ascension Catholic High School Girls Track Team, Victoria and relay teammates Whitney Ure, Deja Harvey, Miles Joseph are the Class 1A State Champions in the 4 by 400 meter run. So, before y'all come up, Whitney, Deja, and Myers, and Victoria. Yeah, Victoria. Okay. Whitney? Deja? And Myers. I guess you're in the last leg? Gotta have the state champion. They carry it back on to the finish line. Congratulations. Let's get a group picture. Come on. Good. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
All of you right here.
Next, we move in certificate of recognition, DHS discus throw champion, Mr. Floyd Foster.
Okay. I'm just going to read this because we have another state champion, individual state champion, and it's always great to recognize these young kids when they achieve something of this magnitude. So, certificate of achievement, this certificate is hereby awarded to Floyd Foster, Donaldsonville High School Boys Track Team, 2015 Louisiana Class 3A State Champion Discus Thrower. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present this certificate of achievement to Floyd Foster of the 2015 Donaldsonville High School Boys Track Team. Floyd is the 2015 Class 3A State Champion in Discus Throw. So, Floyd, congratulations. Yeah.
And just to let you know, last year he was here with the state championship for the,
For the ball.
yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, good.
We want to take a picture? No?
Mr. Joseph, take a picture with the parish president. Next, we'll move into a proclamation, National Men's Health Week. We have the St. Elizabeth Hospital folks here, Mr. Robert Burgess, CEO, and you
We're
got
going to bring them all up here
Miss
because
Charlotte Johnson.
I've been griping about this for about 3 or 4 years so we could get equal rights, and finally we got equal rights, and I guess Charlotte had to go over there and get it straight. So anyway, to proclaim June 15th through June 21st, 2015 as Men's Health Week in Ascension Parish, whereas despite advances in medical technology and research, men continue to live an average of 5 years less than women. And whereas educating the public and healthcare providers about the importance of a healthy lifestyle and early detection of male health problems will result in reduced rates of mortality from disease, and whereas men who are educated about the value of preventive health will be more likely to participate in health screening, and whereas National Men's Health Week is a special campaign to help educate men and their families about the importance of positive health attitudes and preventative health practices. And whereas, because it is within St. Elizabeth's Hospital's mission to improve the health of the community through education, St. Elizabeth's Hospital has chosen Ascension Parish to officially continue its local efforts. And whereas citizens of Ascension Parish are encouraged to increase their awareness of the importance of healthy lifestyles, regular exercise, and medical checkups. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim June 15th through June 21st, 2015, as National Men's Health Week in Ascension Parish, and urge and empower the men of the parish to make their health a top priority through education and by scheduling recommended screenings with their physicians. Robert.
Thank you very much. We're very privileged, my friends and colleagues here, our board chair, Councilwoman Casso, and I are very privileged to serve a ministry whose mission is to serve those most in need in Ascension Parish and the surrounding area. This idea was actually the brainchild of President Martinez. When you did the proclamation for Women's Health Week, he told Charlotte we need one, and you never tell Charlotte to do something without it getting done, so here we are. We have a special men's health luncheon on June the 11th at Park 73 at 11:30. We invite all of you there. I understand Tommy's going to run from Dutchtown High down to there, so you can join them, or you can join me. I'll already be there. That's right. So we hope you'll participate. Everyone knows that men by nature are stubborn when it comes to our own health care. We think we're immortal, and we're not. And it's very important that everyone get the proper screenings, get them early, because it saves lives and our loved ones care about us. So thank you very much for this and a special recognition.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to allow Councilwoman Cazo, if you wanted to speak. She's challenged us all to take care of our health, so we're going to have to step up to the plate. There's a little, no.
A little button on the bottom.
It's a,
Just jump over.
you gotta be up. There you go.
You talking about all of us out there, bunch of horses, we all hit the floor.
All right. Okay.
Next, we have a proclamation, Junior Joseph Senior Day in Ascension Parish. We're going to honor Mr. Junior Joseph.
All righty.
Parish President, could Mr. Joseph and the family come up?
It's always a pleasure, and especially being right after Memorial Day, to honor a gentleman of Mr. Joseph's caliber, who served us well in World War II and continues to serve his community even at the young age of 95, I think, today. His birthday was recently, and 95 glorious years here on this earth. We appreciate all you've done and all you're going to continue to do for the next 95. So, anyway, I'm going to read this proclamation, and I appreciate y'all getting to do it out here. It's an honor to be in his presence. Proclamation to proclaim July 7th, 2015 as Junior Joseph Senior Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas on July 7th, 2015, Ascension Parish resident Junior Joseph Senior will celebrate his 95th birthday. And whereas Mr. Joseph is a veteran of the armed forces and serves courageously as a member of the United States Army in the 188th 3rd Engineers Aviation and Battalion, where he worked as a construction machine operator. And whereas during his service he traveled both internationally and continentally from 1942 to 1945 before being honorably discharged and earning a World War II Victory Medal. Whereas after military service, Mr. Joseph's next chapter in his life brought him to the Palo Alto plantation, where he worked as a yard man and tractor operator for years until retirement. Whereas, like many veterans, Mr. Joseph continues to remember and cherish his time spent serving the United States as a member of our country's armed forces. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim July 7, 2015, as Junior Joseph Senior Day in Ascension Parish, and make him an honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord him all respect and honor due to an honorary hold of this high office. Mr. Joseph. Okay, if not, it's okay.
Let's all go
But you
stand
have
for
the
a picture with
privilege,
this man.
because you're the parish president for the next few years. You got no problem, I got no problem, I'll come and get you. All right. Thank y'all so much. We'd like to take a picture with the family and,
Tommy, before you got, I don't want to forget what the city of
oh,
Donaldsonville.
hold on, you
Yeah.
got one more thing.
Oh, yeah. The mayor of Donaldsonville, Mayor Leroy Sullivan, the city councilman also give you the key to the city of Donaldsonville. And it opened a lot of doors now. So you got to figure out which one you're going to open for you, though.
Yes, and here, you can do it any way you want. All right. Just put the key in the door, it works, and then the door. All right, take a picture here. Let's see, we're gonna turn this way. Can we turn? Somebody help me hold it.
Buster, can you get us all in? We gotta swing around, what we gotta do?
Everybody good? Come on. National Flood Awareness. Mine's different then, but it don't matter.
Next, we'll move on to our last proclamation for the parish president, June 2015 as Flood Awareness Month. Mr. President.
Yes. Proclaim June 2015 as Flood Awareness Month in Ascension Parish. Whereas the Amite River Basin has been substantially affected by floods in the past and can be expected to be affected in the future. And whereas some of the most devastating floods occur during the spring season of the year. And whereas the citizens, communities, and parishes within the Amite River Basin have suffered substantial losses during these floods. And whereas the citizens and individual property owners should be aware of the measures which can be taken by themselves or through government to reduce the risk of flood losses. Now therefore it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Morton, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereinto proclaim June 2015 as Flood Awareness Month in Ascension Parish. So
Thank you,
I don't
sir.
think anybody's here, but to go along with that.
With that, we'll move right in.
We could just kind of move in.
Move into the hurricane
We are
preparedness.
in hurricane season as of June 1st, and I've asked Mr. Webb and OEP representatives to come and give us a very brief synopsis of what we can do to better protect ourselves. So I think you have a lot of reading material up there that's been presented to you, and hopefully that you read it all. If you have any questions, call Mr. Webb, and we'd be certainly happy to sit down with you. Rick?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the opportunity to brief the council. You should have got 3 files with the packet that you received. One is an annual report that's going to cover the projects that we covered in 2015. The other will be the future projects that we project out that we're going to cover for 2016. But the one that we're going to be briefing off tonight is the council briefing with today's date on it. And on slide 2, these are the 4 topics that I want to cover briefly. Is one, I want to introduce my staff. So if the public does have to call into the Emergency Operations Center, they'll know who they'll be dealing with. Really quick outlook from the National Hurricane Center for the 2015 hurricane season. What programs and services the public can expect from the office if we do experience another hurricane in 2015? And then quickly, what are the office objectives as we move forward? Quickly, I want to introduce my staff. My Assistant Director, Rachel Wilkinson. If you can stand up, Rachel. She handles all of the legal contracting for the parish. She handles our budgeting, our admin. She does a lot, and she has decision-making authority in my absence. Meredith Conger, our newest addition to the team. She just graduated from LSU. She's our planning and intelligence section chief. Excellent job. You'll be seeing her in a couple of weeks. She's going to bring up the hazard mitigation plan for you guys to review and approve. Amy Johnson, if you can stand up real quick, she's my operations section chief. She manages the Emergency Operations Center. She's the point of contact for all Homeland Security training throughout the parish. And if you noticed yesterday in the middle of Gonzales, there was a pretty large drill, active shooter drill going on at Pecan Grove Elementary. Amy has been instrumental over the last 18 months in getting that drill put together. You'll be seeing her coming up here. I'm going to put her in for a certificate of appreciation for what she did for that drill. Excellent job. 2015 hurricane season, if you look at slide 4, they're calling for a light season, but we plan the same way that we plan every year. Irrelevant to what this data looks like, National Hurricane Center is coming out with 6 to 11 named storms. We only need one. Even though it's a light season, Tropical Storm Allison came in and did some pretty severe flooding. So irrelevant to what this data looks like, we plan the same way each year, every year. If you move on to slide 6, what I want the public to know about contacting the Emergency Operations Center, there's been some instances where they may be confused. Do I need to call the 911 center or do I call the Emergency Operations Center? It's pretty simple. If it's a life, health, safety issue, please call the 911 center. But any data related to the storm, whether it's road closures, flooding, curfews, shelters, if you want that type of information related to the disaster, please call the Emergency Operations Center at 621-8360, 621-8360. The reason why we want you to do that is we want to relieve some of the pressure from the 911 center during a disaster. And it helps a lot when you want to just get basic disaster information. Now, what you see within Emergency Operations Center is we have 20-phone telephone lines. When the president declares a state of emergency, we roll that main line into those 21 lines. All 21 phones will ring at one time when you call. We never roll over to voicemail, because when I first got here, I listened to voicemail. There was messages on the voicemail from Katrina, people from New Orleans trying to call. So I never wanted that to happen. So you will get a live person to speak to. It may not be the person with the information that you want, but they will connect you to who you need to connect it to. So 621-8360 is where you need to call if the public needs to contact the Emergency Operations Center during a hurricane. Slide 7, in 2010, a project by Leadership Ascension developed the Joint Information Center. It's in the Courthouse East in the Executive Council chambers. What we want to do is brand this thing so when the public sees that blue backdrop, pay attention. So right before we go on TV with the parish president, with the council members, whoever else needs to put out emergency information to the public, we want them to be able to recognize that blue backdrop as something that emergency data is coming out to you, emergency protective measures, pay attention. We're going to do a cable override, then we go live from channel 21. So we can also run it in a recorded loop. So the Joint Information Center is the center point where all media personnel can go to also and broadcast live from that location if need be. Slide 8, code red. If you see that bullet up there, since 2008, First Call Systems was our reverse 911 system for the parish. We can select a geographical area within the parish to notify the residents by telephone if need be of an emergency in your area. We also used it as fixed list where we can notify the SWAT teams or the search and rescue teams or the dive teams. Very well used, very well accepted system. It was purchased by Code Red just recently. Amy's in a process right now of transitioning from First Call to Code Red. We should have that done by the end of the month, and so far it's going fairly smoothly. Please, if you could, your constituents, if you can help us promote it, very, very good app on that system. It has some technology on it that if you drive through a certain area, it'll automatically alert your phone if the National Weather Service puts out some type of alert or warning. The second bullet is the community information line, 866-380-2303. Only during the declared emergency is this line activated, but if anywhere you are, you call this toll-free number and you can get emergency information on Ascension Parish, whether it's road closures, curfews, sandbag locations, whatever you need. So 866-380-2303. About 3 years ago, we looked at a project to put in FM radio throughout the parish, low band FM radio. It was cost prohibitive. It was about $30,000 per site. But we needed a way to get information out to the public when we're completely off of the grid. And trying to get information on TV channel 21 because you're out of power, that didn't work. Internet didn't work. Telephones didn't work. So we entered into a mutual aid agreement with KKY radio, AM radio. It covers the entire parish. The care committee from industry put in transfer switches and hubble plug at the studio and also at the transmitter site in White Castle. We provide the generators to them during the storm so they can continue to run no matter what. They gave us the ability at the EOC to capture their broadcast and broadcast live from the Emergency Operations Center. So what we do is run all 15 emergency support functions through it, whether it's transportation, communications, fire services, law enforcement. We run their personnel through it and give us an update on what's happening. And we run that in a recorded loop. So please tell your constituents to purchase AM radios, battery operated radios, so we can communicate with them and get that message out to them when we need to. If you look at slide 9, I'm not a big Facebook fan. I'm not on Facebook at all. I don't own one of those accounts, but I cannot argue with the success of Facebook. That last squall we had, over 10,000 people were able to get the information that we needed. So it's so effective that we dedicate one person to social media only with an Emergency Operations Center when we do activate it. So it's that important. Please visit the Facebook. Tell your constituents to visit Facebook, and you can get critical information during a storm from that. On slide 10, please, if I can get your assistance with this one. This one's important. This was a lesson learned from Gustav. This is the Medical Special Needs Registry. We were looking at any resident that medical condition may decompensate after 24 hours, really needs to be on this registry. It does, it's a caveat, and it doesn't guarantee a response, but at least we can coordinate with the response agencies that they do need help. We're looking at hospice patients, people that really need oxygen need to be on here. If they don't have access to a computer, have them call the office. My staff will run down this list with them and make sure we get what we need. We don't release this to any third parties, and if you guys wanted to be involved, if you wanted to call the residents before storm and after, that's what we do. We completely go down a list pre-storm, and then we do it again immediately post-storm to check on their status. So if you guys can help me promote this, I would definitely appreciate it. So either go to our website, www.ascensionparish.net, register your relatives, or you can call the office and we'll make sure we'll get you on the registration, medical special needs resident. Another lesson learned from Gustav on slide 11 is medical oxygen. Big need for medical oxygen if we're completely off the grid for an extended period of time. It got so bad that people were sitting in rings in the St. Elizabeth lobby on nasal cannulas trying to get oxygen. So what we did is we worked with a vendor that designed a medical oxygen trailer. And this is, you see the photo of it here. Fire Protection District 1 has been good enough to manage this for us. They keep it maintained all year long. Any resident that needs medical oxygen, if they're on a oxygen concentrator and we're out of power and they're running out of oxygen, they can get their cylinders refilled free of charge on Airline Highway, Fire Protection District 1. We don't give out cylinders because it's a prescription, but if they bring their cylinders, we'll refill it free of charge. Page 12, the mass casualty bus. We used it several times since we put it in service a few years ago. What we really use it for is for the hurricanes to transport any patients in the parish that need to go to a medical special needs shelter in Baton Rouge. That was the primary reason for doing it. CARE and quite a few other companies in the parish helped us finance it, and we do appreciate that. So it has a generator, AC units, and all the track lightings have been installed, and it's handicap accessible if we need to do that. So the mass casualty unit is in service at the old 7th District Fire Department. Our shelters. We don't open our shelters until 12 hours pre-storm. There's a reason for that because we're right along I-10. If we open them up any sooner than that, they'll begin to fill up with everybody coming out of New Orleans, and we'd have no place for our residents to go. So our shelters don't open until 12 hours pre-landfall. One of them's located here in Donaldsonville. That is a Red Cross operated shelter. The other one's at Dutchtown High School. It's a Red Cross sponsored shelter, and there's a difference. At Dutchtown, they'll provide an ERV, emergency response vehicle, with all the food and everything that we need to run the shelter, but they won't provide the personnel. We do that with our local faith-based organizations that Amy coordinated with to make that happen. So here in Donaldsonville High, Dutchtown High is where our shelters are, and as soon as law enforcement says the roads are clear, those shelters shut down. And if we need any long-term sheltering, we coordinate with the parish president and arrange that. But this is short-term hazardous weather shelters that are open for just a short period of time. If you look on page 14, if we need to have commodities distributed throughout the parish, on the West Bank, we run a type 3 pod, and we're talking tarps, water, MREs, and ice. But let me put a caveat on ice. Logistically impossible to save the refrigerators throughout the parish. I mean, we just can't do it. What the ice is there for is to cool medication that you may need, life, health, safety issues, to cool breast milk. It's not designed to save the food in your refrigerator. So we do the best that we can. There's another program that I'm about to mention that covers that. But at the Lemon Center, type 3 pod serves about 5,000 people a day, 140 vehicles per hour, tarps, water, ice, MREs, if we need to get the commodities in. We have to be out of power for at least 72 hours before we activate these things. And projected to be out a little bit longer. But if Walmart's open, the grocery stores are open, hardware stores are open, these don't come open. Type 2 pod on page 15 at Lamar Dixon, 10,000 people a day, 6 loading positions, 280 vehicles per hour. And on page 16, if your residents need assistance, FEMA assistance, post-event, post-hurricane, we established disaster recovery centers. We had one established as a mobile disaster recovery center here on the West Bank at one time, but normally what we do is a fixed DRC, a fixed disaster recovery center. We'll be at the banquet room at Lamar Dixon, or it'll be at the Geismar Activity Center, depending on the severity of the storm. What the residents can expect to get if you want to guide them towards that area is legal services, unemployment assistance, emergency and food and shelter, funeral assistance if your family sustains a fatality during the incident, disaster case management, National Family Locator System, and on the right side of the slide you see some of the agencies that are inside the DRC, American Red Cross, FEMA, the SBA. The SBA is there, even though it's a business organization. They make low interest or no interest loans to residents to repair their homes. Unemployment, tax, and legal services. And on 19 is another one that you may, I need to make you aware of, at least where it says housing repair or housing replacement. This is a big issue that when you have low-income families that go to get assistance, a lot of times they live in a house that's been passed on through generations, but they don't have the title in their name. So if you go to get assistance and you need housing repair and it's not in your name, there's not much they can do. They can't even create a case on you. So if we can start working on that to inform people that they need to get the house they lived in placed in their name, they'll be able to get assistance when need be. But on page 18 is what you can get from the Disaster Recovery Center if you want to direct some of your constituents to that location. Page 19 is a project that we're working on now. The seagoing containers that you see in the photograph are at the 7th District Fire Department, the old one on Roddy Road. One 40-foot seagoing container can hold about 3,000 sandbags. That's 120 pickup truck loads of sand. I'd like to pre-position these things in key locations throughout the parish that are subject to flash flooding. I mean, we get headwater and backwater flooding, we got time to respond. We don't have time to set up sandbagging points when we have a flash flood. So what I'd like to do is put them at the fire stations where it's critical, so that the residents can kick the doors open and get the sandbags as needed. So we need about 4 different locations. I'm trying to locate the funding for it now and get them put in place. Page 20, this is our emergency planning guide. This is in the first 16 pages of the phone book. It was designed back in the 80s. I'm not sure that it's that effective to put it in the phone book anymore. So what we're doing is working with this company now to design a digital flip book that we can send a link to anybody that needs it. We're also going to print hard copies, so people that don't have access to computer systems, they can still get hard copies. We can mail it to them, or they can call the office at 621-8360. We'll mail it to you, or come to the office at 828 South Irma Boulevard, and we'll give you hard copies of this. Very good guide. It's got a family kit that they can that teaches them how to develop it. Very good guide. So if anybody needs it, please come by the office. I'll go to the website and download it. Slide 21, Lamar Dixon. We just wanted to touch that real quick. We just finished a big project, and I want to thank engineering, Ken Dawson, purchasing to help me finish this. We've been working on it for about 18 months. We put some generators at Lamar Dixon that range from 80 to 800 kWs. It'll completely power up Lamar Dixon except for the 4-H building. We're waiting for that to be renovated, and then we'll look for a generator for that. But Lamar Dixon is the first responder staging base for all of southeast Louisiana, so it was that critical that we get it powered up. And it was through a grant from the Department of Health and Hospitals, so we got that out of the way. Working with technology right now on a damage assessment tool, Cartograph. We turned it into a damage assessment tool with aerial videos. We're flying all the waterways pre-incident, so when we start the flood, we can fly them again and look at the difference between the two. We were flying every building that parish government owns, and we listed all the value of the building, the value of the contents. So we have a really good way to do damage assessments. So this was something that we took away from Tuscaloosa when I visited them for the tornadoes. I mean, it wiped them out. So I was looking at their aerial imagery, and that was the key to doing this one particular project. So you'll be seeing this coming down the pike pretty soon. As far as our goals and objectives, we want to continue to coordinate with our local, state, and federal partners to continue to try to make this program as best as we can make it. What we want to do is make Ascension Parish as hurricane independent as we possibly can. Whatever we get from the state or the federal government, we should consider it lagniappe. So we want to position Ascension Parish in a position where we can take care of ourselves. But the last and most, what I think is most important objective that we have is continuity of government, continuity of operations. Is no matter how much damage we sustain, we continue to operate. I mean, we're government, we cannot evacuate. We have to stay here with critical crews and get government back up and running. So that's going to be my focus for 2016. So other than being subject to your questions, this concludes my briefing.
Rick, I want to thank you very much. When the parish president and I talked about hurricane season starting this week and getting out in front, we just need to get it on Channel 21 and get it in everybody's up front in their priorities. Get out, look at your generator, look at whatever's around your place, and how you fared last time. The oxygen was the big thing for a lot of the rural areas where I was, and you were with us, and we ended up getting portable generators to some folks to sustain the machines they had in their homes. Others, we had to get them oxygen. Yeah. It's sad to say I've been blessed to come from a family where we're a large family and everybody can try to take care of each other, but we have some folks out there that just don't have family. Yeah. And don't have anybody to take care of them. So, as I always say, let's take a look around our neighbors and know that that's the folks that's going to need the help. Our volunteer fire departments work hand in hand with you guys. I just want to stress to the OEP Center, if anybody gets an opportunity that hadn't been in there, to go in and see. We've been in there with some emergencies with as high as probably 40 people you had through different agencies and the administration and staff folks and the different departments within parish government that come together to man all that, and it's just great to see it going, and it's just amazing. Lamar Dixon did a good job, parish president, but Lamar Dixon, it proved to be worth its salt. The last major hurricane we had, where we housed all those folks there, and we had emergency workers there, both major utility companies, and they were in our backyard ready to work with us.
Exactly where I wanted them. I mean, you can reach out and touch them right there. So it's great to have them there when you need them.
Again, thank you very much. Any other council members?
Thank you.
Parish President? All right. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, staff. We'll move on to agenda item number 7. The chair would entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Johnson,
Second.
second by Ms. Cazzo. Any objection? Motion carries. We'll move right into committee recommendations. Chairman Lord, Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Personnel Committee met on May 18th. It was a busy meeting. We had a lot of appointments, as you were about to find out. But the first was the Waterways Commission. We actually had 7 openings. There were a total of 5 people that were reapplying, and we had 4 new applicants. The first folks that were recommended for reappointment were Mr. Ronald Breaux, John Tomplay, Will Rieger, and Ronald Depew, and I think we need to vote on those in order. Okay, but motion for Mr. Ronald Breaux.
We got to do one. Move for Ronald Breaux.
We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Any opposition? Motion passes.
Second was John Tomplay.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Benny Johnson, second by Ms. Fryer Malonson. Any opposition? Motion passes.
The third was Mr. Will Rieger.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Travis Turner, second by Ms. Cazzo. Any opposition? Motion passes.
The fourth was Mr. Ronald Depew.
Motion.
We have a motion by Ms. Cazzo, second by Mr. Johnson. Any opposition? Motion passes.
The Personnel Committee recommended the following ranking for the 3 openings. There were 4 other candidates. The first preference was Mr. Ross Grand.
So move.
A motion by Mr. Shake Snyder, second by Ms. Cazzo. Any opposition?
And the second was Mr. Thomas Scott.
Motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Ms. Cazzo. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Okay, and then I believe we had one more, which was Deanna Miles.
Motion by Mr. Johnson,
Second.
second by Ms. Cazzo. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
Okay. That does it for the Waterways Commission. Next was the West Ascension Hospital Board. There were 2 openings, and there were 2 people that were reapplying. The first was Dr. Michelle Hirsch.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Joseph,
Second.
second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Any opposition? Motion passes.
And Glenn Robert.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Any opposition? Motion passes.
Next was the Zoning Board of Adjustments. There were 3 openings, and there were 3 new applicants. The first was Steve Joffrion Jr.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shake Snyder, second by Ms. Cazzo. Any opposition? Motion passes.
And the second was Eddie Crass.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cazzo. Second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Any opposition? Motion passes.
And the third was Brandon Bennett.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cazzo, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any opposition? Motion passes.
Next, we have the Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors. There were 2 openings and 2 people that were reapplying. First was Mr. Don Hanna.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Brian Melanson, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition?
And the second was Ms. Erica Crenshaw.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cazzo, second by Mr. Mr. Joseph. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
And the last board opening was for the Industrial Development Board, and we had 1 applicant, and that was Mr. Pegramir.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Cazzo, second by Mr. Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes.
That ends my report.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Moore. We'll move on to Strategic Planning Committee. Chairman Shake Snyder, proposed modification of drainage regulations for subdivision.
Yeah,
Sir,
this is something we've been working on for about a year, and constant, trying to update things and make things better, and we have a proposal here that we have already discussed. It comes out of strategic planning by a 5-0 vote. I'd like to move to introduce this as an ordinance, and then in 2 weeks, public hearing and discussion.
we have a motion to introduce
Second.
into public as an ordinance, and we have a second by Ms. Cazzo. Any opposition? Motion passes. So you got Mr. Shake Snyder.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I would like to thank everybody for participating in this. This is going to be an ongoing thing where we work on these drainage regulations, subdivision regulations, and we are entertaining any issues that come up, and we're going to try to improve upon them one at a time and continue to do this. We want everybody to know everything we do is not perfect, but we want to try to make things better each time, so we'll keep working on it.
Thank you, sir. We'll move right into general business. Item number 10, update on HUD Section 8 program. Councilman Oliver Joseph and Roberto Macedo, our HUD consultant.
I appreciate Mr. Mercedes coming in and giving us this update on HUD program, and just need to update the public how many we have, how many vouchers we have, and when is the registering for it, open dates, and then do we have any availability vouchers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, President Martinez, members of the council. My name is Roberto Macedo, and first of all, I would like to thank you for once again appointing me to the administration of the Section 8 Rental Assistance Program. The Ascension Parish Rental Assistance Program is a federally funded program that provides rental assistance to families throughout the parish that qualify based on income. We spend approximately $47,000 a month assisting families with parts of their rent. The majority of the folks that receive rental assistance are elderly and or disabled, single mothers, and of course all the regulations of the program are at the jurisdiction or the recommendations of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. I have 2 good news this evening. Number one, we have the federal government has increased the number of vouchers for the parish by 15. Number 2, we are at the end of the current waiting list, meaning it's going to be time for us to take new names to be placed in the waiting list. If you authorize me to proceed with that, the approach to the waiting list is we published in the official journal twice a 1-800 number that folks that need rental assistance will call in. We will log in these calls by the placement, number 1, 2, 3. For this time, we're going to take 75 calls. We log in the time of the call, and we proceed. When we're ready to issue new vouchers, we will take them in the order that they have called, as well as in the order that they have provided all the information required to participate in this program. At the present time, we have 87 families being assisted, so the additional vouchers will take us over 100. Hopefully, that will be assisting. Along with a similar program that the city of Donaldsonville has, the parishes of Ascension can assist up to about 200, 205 families per month. Again, thank you. I know that some of the councilmen know me from way back, others perhaps never seen me, but if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Roberto, thank you very much. And you had answered, I guess, some of the questions that people want to know. So you're basically saying we're going to have a little bit over 100 vouchers within the parish.
Correct.
You did a good job before, like when I first came in, to explain, people get beat up, elected officials get beat up every now and then, and, about, somebody's building some Section 8 housing and things like that. You'd explained one time before, and I think the public needs to know it, and maybe other folks, that the Section 8 is a qualification that a person has. That you could, a person that qualifies for Section 8, say in New York, could actually, if they moved down here for whatever reason, could receive that assistance. Am I right or wrong, in a way?
Yeah, there is a part of this program that HUD has labeled portability.
Right.
And that means that when we open this waiting list, if a family or person calls in and currently are living, for instance, in New Orleans, at the time that that person comes up in the waiting list, we would issue a voucher. But that family that is from New Orleans at the time of the call would have to relocate to Ascension Parish at least for 1 year. As opposed to if the family that calls is already in Ascension Parish, when that family is issued a voucher, that family can take the voucher and move to New York City, move to New Orleans, whatever area that provides this rental assistance program. So that is the portability issue. Also, to emphasize the chairman's point, there's no such thing as Section 8 housing. It could be a house that the family selects, and we do all the clear in terms of ownership for the property, rent reasonableness, all the items that we have to clear. And that family that selects that unit and the landlord is agreeing to participate, that contract can last 1 year. And then if the landlord doesn't want to continue with the program, then that's the end of it. And the family would have to look for another unit. So there's no such thing as Section 8. There's a Section 8 voucher that the family has, and they have the choice to select the unit, providing, of course, that the landlord agrees to participate.
Thank you, Roberto. Any other questions? Ms. Cazzo?
No, just a comment. I want to thank you, sir, for your explanation today and for your service to those most in need in our community. We appreciate it. And I want to reiterate that, or to clarify that what you said was there are 102 total vouchers available in the Ascension Parish, excluding the city of Donaldsonville.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Joseph.
Right, and Mr. Merced, I've been knowing you a long time, and you do a great job, but I'm the one to always call you up here to get this report. But city of Donaldsonville, How many vouchers do they have?
The city of Donaldsonville has 95.
95. They did get an increase?
No.
They did not get an increase. Okay. So we roughly, and this number always amazed me with these vouchers, is that we have approximately, like you said, parish-wide, 200, because the city of Donaldsonville and the parish, the city of Gonzales do not get any, and Sorrento do not get any.
No, any municipality within the unincorporated, aside from Donaldsonville, the parish handles all the unincorporated areas. I may add that even though these numbers look or sound small, it's not uncommon that, for instance, once we establish the waiting list, we may go through maybe 30% of the waiting list that it doesn't materialize into assistance, whether the family situation changes and the rental assistance is not needed, or they don't want to provide the documentation that the federal government requires to participate. So in addition to that, a family may receive a voucher that is good generally for 60 days with extensions, providing that the family shows an effort in finding a unit. But in many cases, the voucher expires because the family cannot find adequate, affordable housing. So it's a double issue. Not too many vouchers, but at the same time, especially in the Donaldsonville area, we don't have too many developments in the housing. Housing stock is getting almost as old as I am. Not older.
That was the next question. So you answered that for me. And once again, I appreciate you giving us this information, and I hope the public watch this here too, because I do get phone calls on it. And this would answer that question. I appreciate it.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
Randy Cluas got a house and he wants to get it certified for household housing. How does he go about that? I'll flip it around.
For those that didn't hear, because you're not by the microphone, you just want to know if a person has a house that wants to get it certified for the program, what do we do?
Well, in this particular case, I'm sorry, Chairman, you cannot participate. No elected officials.
I got one house too many now. I got one to take care of now.
No. Any landlord that wants to participate in the program will contact my office. We'll take the information, how many bedrooms, is the unit vacant now, and so on, how much rent. And what we'll do is place that landlord in a referral list. So when a family receives a voucher, we will give them the referral list of potential landlords that they can go and seek. In addition, of course, the family signs in front of a house that says for rent, and they have this access to this list that can help them find a place.
That's, and I guess to add on that, I don't know if there's any, is there money range between this much rent, that much rent, whatever that?
Yeah, the federal government establishes what is called a fair market rent. And that is established for the parish of Ascension based on the number of bedrooms for the unit. So obviously, a one bedroom, the fair market rent is less money than all the way to a 4-bedroom. So the federal government dictates that. But in addition to that guidance, we have to do what is called rent reasonableness. Because as you will know, not all 1-bedroom units are the same or equal. So it depends on the condition of the unit, the amenities, whether it's central air and heat, if it's a mobile home, and so on.
Yes, Mr. Saddle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Macedo, thank you so much. I look forward to you coming every year and explaining this, because it's not only an educational process, and I learn a little bit more each year, but now I have a new question based on what Councilman Joseph just indicated. If I understand it correct, the federal government is giving you approximately 100 vouchers for the city of Donaldsonville and approximately 100 for the entire rest of the parish. And I agree with my colleague, that seems a little lopsided when you consider the number of the populations of those two geographical areas respectively. But I'm curious, does the federal government say we cannot use the parish vouchers inside of the corporation city limits of Gonzales or Sorrento? Or we have to just use it in the rural parish, or we can use it anywhere we want?
No, you use them anywhere you want. Actually,
But could the cities of Gonzales, I guess it's a township of Sorrento, apply and get vouchers independently? I don't mind, doing that at all. I'm just saying, in addition to what we have.
oh, yes. The federal government has every year, they publish a supernova called Super Notification of Funding Availability. And that is for the many programs that HUD offers. So these municipalities have the authority to request vouchers just for that specific municipality.
But that, sir, would be up to them, not necessarily up to you to do that.
Correct.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, have they tried in the past? And you probably don't know that, and you would know then if they were successful or not, or why.
Let's put it this way. The city of Gonzales has never approached me to
do
well, never say never, but recently I have not been contacted in order for them to apply for Section 8, no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Mr. Joseph, yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr.
You wanna
Mercedes,
close?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mercedes, you said we had an additional 15 and you needed a motion or approval from us or the parish president to go forward with them or anything like that?
No, the only approval would be for me to proceed with the advertisement for the intake of new applications. And this is done entirely with my staff through a 1-800 number that facilitates folks that may be housebound and cannot come to different places. The only disadvantage that I want to let you know ahead of time, when we do those 1-800 number intakes, sometimes we get a lot of folks that are not from the community. Some folks from East Baton Rouge Parish may want to apply. And, that's part of, but of course, the advertisement for the availability of the program would be done locally. We will contact certain agencies within the parish to post in their offices, and also the advertisement for this intake is strictly in the official journal of Ascension Parish.
I think, Mr. Parrington, would it be correct at this time for the chair to entertain a motion from the council?
Well, if you understood, if you want to do it, if you want to do that 1-800 number, or if you want him just to do it the other way, you don't have to make a motion where he puts it throughout. That's up to y'all how y'all want to do that. If you want to make a motion to do the.
No,
you don't need a motion
I don't remember
to do it.
making a motion last time, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I just want to verify that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks again, Mr. Mercedes.
Any other? Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item number 11, change order number 4 for 2013 road maintenance project, ENG-13-012 for FG Sullivan Junior Contractors, increase in contract. Mr. Ken Dawson, before you speak, sir, we have a speaker, and I'm trying to read the name, and I'm thinking it's Billy Berto.
Just want to start off by saying I want to thank the parish for building that temporary road, because we had a terrible situation out there. We couldn't even get to our houses. People were getting stuck, and it just like was getting ignored. And then finally, a bunch of emails, Channel 9 started coming out, and then we started seeing some work get done. But the problem is now the contractor's telling everybody that they're not going to move forward because the parish is not wanting to pay them. So I don't know the truth. Who's telling the truth? Who's lying here? But the problem is, we'd like to know when they're going to start on this road, because they were complaining about they ain't had good weather. Well, we've had beautiful weather all this week, and they was talking about wanting to pull their equipment out because the parish don't want to pay. So we just like to know in our neighborhood what's really gonna happen.
Well, I don't know that we can answer that for you right now, sir, but, we'll let Mr. Dawson come back up and we will take care of this change order.
But
But
like I
thank
said,
you
we
for
all
coming.
appreciate it. It's been a mess. The dust is terrible out there. Our houses, can't keep your house clean, your driveways. They come through my yard with equipment. I got a nice yard. You know, you go to them like, well, we had a problem with the mud and this and that, but you had no reason to get in my front yard.
Thank you,
So
sir.
it's been a mess.
All right, Bill.
Thank you.
Mr. Dawson.
And just let me say that, you know, I think it was a Monday evening or maybe a Tuesday, Monday when we, you know, got some significant calls. Some of our people out there were actually initially trying to put some reclaim on that issue to try to solve the problem. And he's right, it was an issue out there. And I think that the crew stayed out till about 2 a.m., built a temporary road, got some limestone out, and didn't stop until made sure people had a way to get in and get out of there. Let me just give you some brief overview, and I'm not going to get into detail of actually what happened. I've been learning a lot about roads and finding out that there's stuff called fluorite, there's stuff called pisolite, and there's stuff called bauxite.
That is.
I know one thing, I don't like any of those ikes. I really learned that. And it was a situation that this road was not even designed to actually to kind of be milled and taken down to a lower level because the initial assessment didn't show that it needed to be done there. It was just going to take the top portion of the asphalt off and just going to kind of be resurfaced. However, when they were going through the process, they actually found a pipe that was in the road that they had to remove it. So when they removed the pipe, we have geotechs out there. They looked at it and they said, hey, this looks a little strange. So since it looks a little strange, we may need to do some further, maybe mix in some soil cement to make sure we had a good solid base. But through that process, and planning on doing so, rain happened, okay? And what I found out about these ikes, that you have to have aluminum or aluminum oxide plus silica plus water. And when you have that, things happen. And our geotech, when he saw the moisture content increase, he looked at it, he said, this is bauxite. So we knew then there was no way that you could go further with just normal operation, because you mix soil cement with bauxite, when you pave it, the road fails later because there's a chemical reaction when it gets to moisture. So this change order is to take care of that situation, to remove all of that material out, come back with limestone, I think about 12 inches, and then come back with asphalt after that. I just want to say the Ryder Road issue where we found fluorite after the road was paved over and then it failed, it was a much bigger issue. It really was good that we found the situation with bauxite before we went through with paving the road, because what would have happened, it would have failed and you had to come back and redo it again. So everything is in place. Once this is passed, I don't know who told you we didn't pay him, but I will have a conversation with the contractor because we have to go through the process because of the value. Let Mr. Patterson explain that a bit.
This was going to be all resolved in the end. The payout, there's going to be some legal work. So rather than go through the whole detail, this may wind up in litigation as to, because as we reread the contract, they were responsible for maintaining that site and they have it. But we do have to do the change order at this point in time or we're going to stop the project. So that's why we recommend you do the change order and we're going to deal with it on the back end.
Motion by Mr. Tipsy Lambert, second by Mr. Brian Malonson. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Sadler.
Yeah, I just want to comment. Mr. Berto, are you the gentleman that emailed me about this problem? In South, or maybe your wife, Amy? Okay. And so you're in District 4 and you and about 5 or 6 other people did, and I know I talked to our engineer and so forth, so I have total understanding of what Mr. Dawson's saying. So if we vote to do this tonight, you're going to get relief from your problem. I thank you for your...
Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sadler.
No objection.
All right. Any objection? Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 12, bid official journal of Ascension Parish government. Mr. Parrington.
Yes, normally, in fact, the law says you shall award the journal for this meeting. However, nobody bid. So we're going to have to re-advertise. And so what I suggest is that you vote to re-advertise and act with what we're doing now on a month-to-month basis till we get some bids in, but no one bid to be our official journal.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Malone, second by Mr. Lohr. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll go to agenda item number 13, St. Landry Edenborn, capital outlay. Parish President Martinez. And Miss Martha Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. This is to come to you tonight. We have recently received a capital outlay appropriation of $1,100,000. It's already been awarded to the parish. What we're here tonight to do is to request the Ascension Parish Council to approve to accept the State of Louisiana Division of Administration Facility Planning Capital Outlay Award in the amount of $1,100,000 for the St. Landry Edenborn Connector Road, and to authorize Parish President Tommy Martinez to sign and execute all documents pertaining to the facility, planning and, lost my thought here, control for project number 50J03-1401, and Ms. Gwen LeBlanc for the financial.
So moved. So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Shake Snyder, second by Ms. Cazzo. Ryan.
President Martinez would like to address this also.
Yes, Mr. President. Discussion.
This is something that we've been working on for the last couple of years, and basically, as of now, I think we're going to end up getting another $5.1 million this year through capital outlay, which will allow us to do the project. Basically, it won't be 4 lane, it'll be 2 lanes, sort of like Edenborn now, but we're going to take all the necessary actions to have that land available, have the utilities available for the 4 lane. I require that much right away. So what we're looking at here is about a $6.2 million project, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank our delegation. I've been working very closely with them, working with DOTD, working with Gabria, working with the plant managers, and they've all written letters of support for this project, and I think it's something that's going to be good for the entire region from a safety perspective, and also it's just going to be something good for Lamar Dixon, and that's something that we always needed another way out to make it a lot more successful than it is today. And I think this creates a lot of different good things that'll happen with this road going through, and it'll be like our first road since the 50s a new road that we actually built. So again, and if there's any match somewhere along the line, right now I don't know, but I'm going to come back to you. But and we also reapplied for the Tiger grant on this, so if we get some movement there, that'll be just something extra to take it a step further. So anyway, just a little update on where we're at and where we're headed. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Mr.
A
Chairman.
motion and a second?
Yeah. Discussion yet?
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Saturday.
Thank you for recognizing me, Mr. President, and the chairman. I'm just curious, what's the difference in priority 1 and priority 5 as it relates to
Priority
the?
5 is nothing. It's like you have nothing there. It's just to make you feel good.
So
you move this from priority 5 to priority 1.
You testified.
Priority 1 and 2 is cash. 1 is bonds, 2 is cash.
Right. So your testimony is that we're going to get both of those numbers, 1.1 million that Martha talked about, and my glasses on, 4.1 million pending.
Hopefully get a little more than that, but
Right.
so.
I hope you do.
We're going to move it up. That's the top priority of the delegation. That's
You
entire
said
delegation.
5.1 million, but you meant 4.1.
Well, I don't know. It could be a little more.
Okay.
I'm hoping when it goes.
I just want to be sure I'm
when
reading
it
this right.
When it moves from 5 to 1, I hope another million kind of.
And there's a possibility of the Tiger grant as well.
Yes.
Still.
I'm working on it.
Even though we were turned down, we got a chance, you think, to get that money.
So now Lamar Dixon's gonna be really successful. So I just want you to know.
I'm just holding your feet to the fire, Mr. President. I hope you get the
Anyway,
money.
I just want you to know that.
And I appreciate your efforts for trying to get it as well.
Yeah, well, I
Thank you.
appreciate it, and hopefully it'll work out well and work out for the entire parish. I think it's something that's truly needed from the plant's perspective, also for safety
needed,
and
yeah.
another evacuation route, and also in the event of any kind of catastrophe. So anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you, Parish President. Any further discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move to introduction of ordinance to reestablish precinct boundaries for precincts 34 and 40, Sorrento annexation.
The registrar of voters asked us to do this, that Sorrento needs to all be in one precinct, so when they vote, they have a problem. So we just do what they requested. They're in the clerk of court.
Motion. So moved.
A motion introduced, Mr. Johnson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Shake Snyder. It's introduced. We'll go with public hearings. Reading of ordinance to revoke two existing servitudes across lot A-1-A on Church Point Road, S23, T9S, R3E, 150-foot drainage servitude from the center line of Black Bayou toward lot AAA, and 50-foot temporary construction servitude located on the same. Mr. Harrington.
To revoke two existing drainage servitudes across lot A1A on the Church Point Road, section 23, township 9, south, range 3 east, in Ascension Parish, Louisiana. Whereas the petition is petitioning the Ascension Parish Council to revoke the dedication of two existing servitudes across lot A1A on Church Point Road, section 23, township 9, south, range 3 east, in Ascension Parish. Whereas the planning department, drainage department, engineering, and the relevant utility companies reviewed and researched said request and have no objection to the revocation. The parish of Ascension hereby ordains that it grants the approval of revocation of two existing servitudes across lot A1A of Church Point Road, specifically 150-foot drainage servitude from the center line of Black Bayou toward lot A1A, and the 50-foot temporary construction servitude located at the same lot A1A in section 23, township 9 south, range 3s, in the Ascension Parish, Louisiana, more fully described in the plat attached to and made a part hereof. All ordinances or parts of ordinances of conflict herewith are hereby henceforth repealed, and if any provision is ever held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect the provisions herein, and which shall be given full effect without invalid provisions. That in provision of this ordinance is hereby declared to be severable. The effective date of this ordinance shall be 15 days after adoption. The ordinance have been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Open the public hearing.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Malonson.
Motion to close.
Motion closed by Mr. Satterley, second by Mr. Malonson. Chair will entertain a motion to move the ordinance. Motion to move the ordinance by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Mr. Brian Malonson. Any discussion? Any opposition? Motion passes. We'll move along to agenda item number 18, reading of ordinance, budget amendment number 3 to amend the 2015 budget. Mr. Perrington.
An ordinance to amend the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the 2015 operating and capital budget for the parish of Ascension, adopted by Ascension Parish Council on the 20th day of November 2014. Section 1, the Ascension Parish Council hereby ordains that the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating 2015 operating and capital budgets for the parish of Ascension is hereby amended and approved and appropriated as follows: operating budget, revenues, and financing sources, grants, road safety, DOTD project, LTAP, 100,000, expenditures and other financing uses, appropriations and grants, $100,000. East Ascension Drainage Fund, expenditure and other financing uses, transfer out of EA Drainage Construction Fund, $4.5 million, purchase and installation of pump number 7 at the Marvinboro Pump Station. Criminal Court Fund, expenditures and other financing uses, retirement by court order, $154,000. FEMA Repetitive Loss Reduction and Acquisition Elevation Fund, relevant and other financing sources, Grand Flood Mitigation FEMA Elevation Grant, $307,177, expenditures and other financing uses, Grant Flood Mitigation, $177,000. Capital budget, Ascension Parish Drainage Construction Fund, revenues and other sources, financing transfer in from EA Drainage Fund, 4.5 million, expenditures and other financing uses, engineering fees, 450,000, contract payments, $4,050,000. The ordinance have been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
Open a public comment period.
Motion to open public hearing by Mr. Sadler. Second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Motion to close.
Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Sadler.
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. Chair would entertain a motion to move the ordinance.
Motion to move the ordinance.
We have a motion by Ms. Cazzo,
Second.
second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? Any opposition? The ordinance is moved. Before we adjourn, I got a few little announcements to keep us up to date with our folks here. First of all, Councilman Dempsey Lambert and his wife Kim, we want to congratulate them on wedding last week of their son Kobe to Leslie Stevens. So congratulations, Mr. Lambert. And we look forward to tomorrow night, and that's why Councilman Todd Lambert's not here tonight. He and Donna are working toward the celebration of their son Tyler's marriage to Stephanie Wilkins. And we wish them all the best and safe. And I rarely take opportunity for my family, but if anybody knows me, I'm very proud of all my children. And I just want to say happy birthday to Professor Greg Pruitt. He finally came back from Columbia, and he's going to try to come back to Louisiana, and brought my grandchild back, and we're going to go celebrate his birthday dinner tonight when I leave in a few minutes. And Greg, happy birthday, buddy. We would entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Sadler. Any discussion? Any opposition? We are adjourned.